What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with yet another edition of Transfer Talk. It's been a few days, but I've had a few days off. There's not really been much going on until the last weekend where we had some developing news about our long-term exit target, Raphinha, for other clubs. But listen, just before I get into it, please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and all that good stuff. Share the video around and all that. You know the drill. But listen, stop me if you've heard this one before, but I think Raphinha may actually be going. I think this is it now. Okay, over the weekend we had some developing news. Let me read out because they're from credible sources, so you think that this is as good as done. And I'll get into why it was still credible sources before, but this is more on Raphinha and Deco. But let me get into it. First of all, Ben Jacobs last night, who seems to be coming up to Fabrizio's level of ITK-ness. But last night, just before 11 o'clock, which was Sunday, by the way, 10th of July, can confirm Leeds and Barcelona have finally reached agreement this evening with Raphinha. My understanding that the 50 million plus 10 fee is incorrect. Leeds rejected that a long time ago, and the deal is actually worth close to 75 million. And then, of course, we had Fabrizio Romano this morning saying Raphinha feels his move to Barcelona is imminent. Remember that imminent word from our takeover, people. Remember that one with the GFH. All mad. But anyway, final verbal proposal, 72 million guaranteed with all the details included. Leeds expected to accept this bid once the bid is official. Raphinha has been pushing with Leeds for the last 48 hours. He wants Barcelona. It's his biggest dream. So, yeah, I mean, listen, converted into pounds, if Ben Jacobs' fee is correct, it's more like 63 million. If Fabrizio's correct, it's around 60. So either way, it's around the fee that Leeds United wanted plus add-ons. Now, I've got no problem with the fee, especially with it being Barcelona. I've mentioned before on here that if it's an English club, you have to possibly charge them more. You have to get more out of them because it's in-house, it's in league. You know, I think you always need to get the most for your money when it comes from an English club. But with Barcelona and with it being his dream move and as a thank you and everything else for what he did for us, you can probably accept a bit lower. So to get the fee that we're going to be getting is good. How much of it's up front? It's different, varies from source to source. It could be 50, it could be in installments, but either way, people want insurance on this transfer just in case Barcelona go under. I understand. But listen, it's great for Raf. As it says there, he's been pushing for it. But what I don't want to get lost is that I've seen people get a bit frustrated with Raphinha himself. I don't think you should ever get frustrated with Raphinha. This was more on Barcelona's side. You know, they made loads of promises to him and possibly other players too. You know, we could be talking about Adama Traore here, where he's probably been made a promise saying, yeah, of course, we'll bring you back. And then they haven't done it. But in Raphinha's case, I think it was more frustration with how long it's taken. But I always knew that this transfer was probably going to take longer than it should have. You know, if we got relegated, he would have probably been at Barcelona already. And that's what I want fans to try and remember, that this isn't on Raphinha. It's more on Barcelona for not keeping up their end of the bargain. And just remember as well, he's held out for his dream move. He didn't just want to leave Leeds United just like that. He wanted to go to his favorite club. You know, he could have gone to Arsenal. He didn't want that. He could have gone to Chelsea. He kept them on the back burner. He wanted Barcelona. So if it wasn't that, he would possibly have stayed at Leeds until Barcelona could get their act together. So again, it's something to be not thankful for, but just think about how big that is. The fact that he didn't just take the first big move that came along. I think that's pretty decent of him. You know, obviously we're just think of it this way. We're ending a relationship with an amicable divorce, I would say. So I think it's been pretty mutual for everybody. Chelsea were kind of like the side chick, like, yeah, I like it, but I want my main thing, you know, and that's what he's done. He's going to Barcelona, which is his main squeeze. And I've got I wish him nothing but the best. Honestly, I don't. And just for other things as well, other contexts, I try and put it in ways so any fan that is frustrated with him kind of like just tries to think of it another way. Think of it as a player that wanted to come to Leeds and Leeds were messing about. But this player was dead set. He wanted to play for Leeds only. He's rejected other clubs and he's waited it out. As frustrating as it would be for his current club, when he arrives at Leeds United, he'd already be a fan favourite because of how much he's waited out for Leeds United. So think about it that way. Think about a player that would love to play for Leeds in that way, like Raphinha wants to do for Barca. Any plus points? He'll be out the league, which I'm very happy about. I wouldn't have mind seeing him at Chelsea. I wouldn't have cared. But the fact that he'll be at Barca means that you know, you can probably really enjoy him in full now. You can, you know, like all the Barca updates. I mean, I've been doing that with Charlie Creswell, by the way, at Millwall. Never believe it. Never believe you would have seen so many Millwall likes from me, but that's the way it is right now. That's the way it is. But you know, we can enjoy Raphinha now, just real mutually now. Anyone that had a problem with him going to another Premier League club no longer has to have that problem. So again, it's another plus point. Um, and also as well with the fee, if you think the fee's low, think of it again. Think of it another way. If we had got relegated, we would have got 20 something million for him, which is pittance. And also, he helped keep us up, and he literally put us on his back. And in that, he's probably gained us about 150 million, 200 million in Premier League TV money and everything else that comes with it. So again, there's ways of looking at it as to say this is a great deal for everybody. He gets his move. We can now get that money and try and reinvest in other players, and it's all good. We move on. We move on. Leeds United have always moved on. We've had to, and we will move on again. You know, and I wish him all the best. I'm never going to badmouth Rafinha. He's been an absolute breath of fresh air and a wonder to watch over the last 2 years. And I hope he kills it at Barcelona. I hope he does really, really well. Um, and yeah, that will be it. That will be it for that. You know, goodbye, Raphinha. And I'm just the only thing I'm glad about is that this saga is over because I could see it was getting on the fans' nerves. It was getting on my nerves having to keep talking about it. In all honesty, you know, I said a goodbye video to him back at the Chelsea one, but you know, we delay it to here. But it would just be good for this whole saga to be done with. And that's it. But yeah, just before we go, I mean, I've seen a lot of chatter about the left back situation, which is pretty interesting because Junior Firpo, as I'm sure everyone knows now, hasn't gone on the plane to Australia. He has stayed behind with a knock. Now, am I concerned about the left back situation? I always thought that we needed another left back, but that's on the basis that we're not using Yelder or more so Jack Harrison as our other left back choices because I do think we're going to see that. We'll see in the upcoming tour of Australia if Jack Harrison's used there now because they're going to have no choice but to use him or Yelder. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. But if they're not going to be the options, then of course I want another left back. Do we need another one anyway? Possibly, but if Jesse Marsh feels that Jack Harrison can play there in the absence of Firpo, or if Yoda can play there, then I'm okay with it because I still think that there's other areas of the pitch of the squad that we need to beef up, especially if you've got an option there. Um, Yoda, yes, I don't think he's a natural left back or left wing back, but you can always use him as the one that stays and Rasmus be the ones that kicks on. You know, not always, not all the time. Both fullbacks are always going to bomb on. It's not always going to work like that. So I'm comfortable with that, but we'll see on this tour if they're not used in that way. Then I think we should invest. And I saw Omar Richards recently transferred to Bayern from Bayern Munich to Nottingham Forest for around 10 million and a sellback clause. That would have been a nice deal to do. Omar Richards, really good left back. That would have been a real good deal to do. I've seen recently that Reguilon is not on that Tottenham trip. And if you've seen Spurs anyway, he prefers Sessegnon. He preferred Sessegnon to the Conte preferred Sessegnon to the Reguilon in the last games of the season for Spurs. And they've also bought Perisic. So it looks like Reguilon is frozen out. Now, I'm not saying Reguilon would come to Leeds, but if you could get Reguilon on a loan, now that would be really good business for me. I would possibly take him. Yes, I mean I saw him play for Spurs, and he wasn't doing all the stuff that he was doing in the first season, like bombing down the left and putting crosses in. But I think he'd probably have a new lease of life. I think he'd enjoy Leeds United. I think he'd have a manager that would trust him more than Conte does, quite clearly. So maybe it would work out. I don't know, but I thought Reguilon would be a good option if he was even available, and if we need another left back in that spot, barring that Harrison or Yildiz don't work out in that area over pre-season. Be very interesting to get your thoughts on that as well. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the left back situation as it stands today before the Australian pre-season has gone ahead. So, people, that's been your update from me today. I was going to do this live, but I'm going to be honest, it's way too hot for me to even think about concentrating on comments and everything today. I'm just being honest with you, people. It's a bit warm for me still. But what I will say is, please put your comments in the video, and every thought that you've had about Raphinha, where he's going, the price, everything else like that. The left back situation, if you're concerned, um, would you have liked Omar Richards? I mean, there's no point. He's gone to Forest now. But what about Reguilon? Would you like that option, or is there any other options that you can think of? FPL, I'm going to leave the link to the FPL league, my FPL league, in the description. If you want to join, if you've got an FPL team, join the league and get your licks from me, because I'm going to be winning all of it this year. All of it. I'm taking it all. So look out for that. And yeah, until the next update, people, have a good week. Protect yourself from the sun, stay hydrated, and peace out. See you in a bit.